What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Steve Nostentoski here, Amazing Brew, bringing you another Michigan basketball highlights video, the last one for at least the next 2 weeks. 70-53 win over the Boilermakers. Really good win. Before jumping into the highlights, again, it was announced Michigan Athletics will not be playing any sports until at least February 7th as of the time of this recording. So expect more football content soon. Watch out for the end of this video where I'll be talking a little bit more about that. Before jumping into the highlights for this Purdue game specifically, Sasha Stefanovic is out for COVID for this one. He was announced like an hour before the game. Is a little shady, but he's their true three-point threat, so not having him for the Boilermakers is a huge deal. That being said, let's jump into the highlights here. So Franz Wagner with the feed down to Dickinson. He had a tough day, but that one gets an assist from Purdue, tipping that one in. Trevion Williams dumping it off for Jaden Ivey. Really tough shot there. Williams, one of their best players, able to get the putback there. That's a bad shot selection for Smith. Wasn't happy to see that one. But Livers able to get going early with a mid-range jumper there. That's his first two. And sorry for the footage if you noticed this. It's not me. I swear I replayed it a couple times. The camera crew or whatever was going on, having a tough time there. But Dickinson, good defense. Even though he didn't show up on the stat sheet offensively, he did really well defensively. Good ball rotation here to provide the corner three for Dickinson, for Dickinson, that would be something, but no, for Brooks. So again, you see number 0 here going for the double on Dickinson with Trevion Williams already. That's going to vacate Franz Wagner. You can see the eyes for Dickinson recognizing that he's going to pass it out to Franz, and then you only have 2 players here for Purdue to respond to this ball movement, right? So ball movement there to Livers. That's going to pull this guy out after this guy goes out to Franz to protect the three-point line here. So that just leaves Brooks wide open in the corner here. The only guy to respond to that is number 0. So we'll see that in right there. That guy has to go out to guard Franz at the three-point line, Livers at the three-point line, and then you can see right here the pivotal moment. This guy has to move over here, and you have number 0 having to trek all the way across the court to get on Eli Brooks. It's way too far. It's a nice open look generated from Michigan responding to the double team again in this one. Trevion Williams trying to get going early against Dickinson. Just good defense, right? Good defense from Dickinson, able to create this opportunity in transition. He provides it to Dickinson down low with the little Euro step that does go in. I thought this was not a travel. There's some discussion on my Twitter. I posted a video with this, but they call it the travel. Juwan Howard didn't agree either.
To Purdue. Not a bad guy to have coach you, especially if you're a young big man like Hunter Dickinson. Juwan Howard.
And I posted that on Twitter, and Hunter Dickinson is still not happy that it was called a travel. Anyway, here's an entry pass going to Trevion Williams. Good job, Eli Brooks, challenging that, getting up, tipping that pass. Here's a nice move to the basket there from Livers, able to get his own rebound, and that's a foul on Trevion Williams. Getting him in foul trouble is huge. He's one of their best big men, and Purdue is one of the best depth positions, or best depth positions. They have some of the best depth at the center position in the Big Ten. So getting him in foul trouble early is paramount. That was just a little bit lazy on identifying the man to guard after the rebound. You can see here there's a couple guys looking on, like, who am I guarding here? Franz needs to get over here earlier. He doesn't, and that just makes it an easy basket after the offensive rebound for Purdue. Otherwise, defense was pretty good. Here's some good defense from Dickinson, poking the ball away from the Ent man himself, Zach Edey, 7'4" guy. Here's a great move from Livers that just gets blocked by said Ent man. And they relied on this motion quite a bit, Purdue did, off of the screen. I'll point it out here, even though it didn't work. They do a lot of these dump-offs from the big man right here. He's going to dump off. He's going to do just a wraparound layup here, and this screen is just going to hold up Eli Brooks, right? So that's what they're looking for there. Hold up, make it a really tough thing to guard without switching. Good job from Davis to come over and help on that. The reason I include this was Edey, after the play here, just lands on Eli Brooks. You can see Eli Brooks saying, "You got to protect me, man. You got to protect me." And see that Eli Brooks is trying to box him out, and I don't know how that's not called over the back right there. I get it, he's 7'4", but that's a good box out. That should be called over the back instead he lands on him. And my least favorite part of this, watch this ref. This ref is just sees this happen, is just like, all right, here we go. And he's just zooming down the court, not checking if he's okay. Meanwhile, this ref has to look back here, I think probably because Juwan Howard is looking at him. And so I don't know. That's kind of BS to me. Here's a good drive from Franz. Davis somehow not getting the foul call here either, and officiating will be a common theme I have here. So it's a good post move here with the pump fake. That actually gets Edey off his feet jumping into Davis. I thought right there you could call that a body on the floor. And then he goes up. He might get blocked cleanly by number 1, but I'm surprised that wasn't called against Edey there. On the other side, Davis, good job defense not fouling there. So good job, even though you're going up against a 7'4" guy. Here's a good move from Davis, able to get a basket down low with his right. And then at the other end, Trevion Williams not able to get anything going on that end as well. In transition, nice ball movement there to find Mike Smith in the corner, who throws down that 3. And Michigan's up 10 early here. Here's a player, Ivy. Good dish there to Trevion Williams. It's just a really nice play. You can see, again, Trevion Williams there with the pick on Brown. So Brown has to try to recover there because you need Davis to kind of leak over here to prevent this drive opportunity. You leave just this little path here for Trevion Williams to the basket, and Ivy's able to find that. So it's just a good play for Purdue. They weren't able to do that too consistently, and that's just a tough shot for Ivy. That's well defended, I think, from Franz. Nothing more you can really expect to do there. So just give him that one. It's a lower percentage shot. Here, Davis, again, able to do work down low, even against the double team with his left. And then a turnover, 14 turnovers for Purdue in this one, and that one pass kind of went awry there. Number 2, Eric Hunter Jr. for Purdue, able to put that mid-range down. And then they were calling these a lot, especially on Hunter Dickinson. They called this a moving screen. You can see just that late lean here from Hunter Dickinson right there, and they call that a moving screen. Probably the right call, but they were definitely looking for it more in this game than they have in other games in the Big Ten this year. Here's a little opportunity for Hunter over to Ivy. Ivy down low to the big man, Edey. And the reason I include that is just because this was an awkward switch that Michigan was just having a little bit of trouble switches early on. So off of this screen right here, you can see Shawnee Brown getting screened from Edey. And Davis is actually going to try to take Ivy out here, which isn't the best way to do that. So because he switched there, now you need to find a man to guard Edey. And in this case, it's Shawnee for now, and then off of that screen they switch, and now you have just Livers on Edey, and that's just not a good matchup. So good job from Purdue for identifying that. Just a little bit of an awkward switch, or a couple switches there for Michigan to lose Davis on Edey. Down low, again, able to do work. That's just a tough shot with his right for Davis. What is he, missing 6-7 inches on this guy? And able to put in some points on him. So good job from him, providing some really good minutes in the first half here. Great drive and dish from Johns to Livers. That's a really good part of his game. We haven't seen a whole lot from Johns. And then good job on defensive side from both Livers and Brooks, forcing some tough pokeaways there, and they eventually get the turnover there from Ivy again. And then really good drive to the basket, or cut to the basket from Brooks here. I don't know words. So this is a key component here where Johns is cutting backdoor because you have the double team here on Davis, right? Because of this backdoor, that's going to pull number 2 down to the baseline to prevent this. And what that's going to do is you just see this wide open space after that for Brooks, right? Because number 2 is following down low. Now you have Davis trying to look for an out, and this is the easiest path for an out, right? These two guys are accounted for up here. So that provides a lot of open floor space for Brooks. He takes advantage of that, cuts to the basket, and it's a really nice find and good action there. It could have been called an and one too, because right here, right there, you see right there, number 2 on the left side of Brooks on the left arm. That should be called a foul right there. And then maybe number 0 as well on the right side. We can't see that, but it looks like potentially 2 fouls missed. It wasn't called anything. See Eli Brooks looking at the ref there like, come on, man. Like, what are you doing? Good defense on the other side. Again, Trevion Williams not able to get much going. Not sure why it went fade to black there, but just good job getting your hands up, not going, extending too past there. Chandra able to go up, get the rebound strong there, and then another just nice cut to the basket from Eli Brooks. You see right there, he was moving before he even got the ball, able to take advantage of that mismatch in speed and able to get that basket. Here's again that sort of circle, I don't even know what you call this, pick action here from Trevion Williams. It's a really tough path off of the screen here. Shawnee Brown's trying to follow off this ball motion as well. It's just a really tough thing to do. It's a good job from Eli Brooks recognizing this coming, keeping his eye on it, and then helping down the lane, right? That provides a really really tough shot for Ivy because of that motion from Brooks to help there. This was called a foul on Johns. I don't know how. They're just fighting down low for this. It looks pretty 50-50 to me, but they called that on Johns, so I don't know, man. And then here's a good job from Johns down low on the other side, making the tough shot. And Michigan's up 12 at this point. Here, just, again, good active hands here, and then good job from Brooks. Look at his hands. He's just shadowing his body, not reaching in, and that makes it really easy for the refs to not call that, and it's a good job. Franz using this length there to put in that basket. Michigan on an 11-1 scoring run. There, again, the only action that was really working for Purdue is this kind of give-and-go pick action, right, where I think Williams has to do a better job of hedging this a little bit. But Shawnee Brown has to try to follow. Whoops, I don't know where it went. Shawnee Brown has to try to follow this motion after the give, and that's just a really tough path to follow. And Eric Hunter Jr. is able to get that basket in for Purdue. And they're trying the same thing here. Good job to switch, right? So this time, instead of Terrence Williams, where they didn't switch that time, you can see they're kind of trying the same action here, where you have Shawnee Brown trying to follow on this pick action from number 11 here. Instead, you're going to have Livers recognize that and pick up this guy on this pick action, and he's able to guard this a little bit better because they switched there. So just providing that extra, that one little switch does wonders for Michigan's defense here. And then there's a bounce off the foot, and Eli Livers able to go down and throw down the slam and transition. Again, here they're doing that circle action again. It's good defense, but able to put in that one. Here's just good ball movement for Shawnee Brown, and the ball just gets stuck. I don't know how you do that. That should be worth like 10 points if you're able to do that, but unfortunate for Brown. There, again, you're seeing them try to do the same action where you have the screen from Edey here, and you have this guy just kind of circling around going towards the basket, but it's a bad pass where I don't know why Ivy's not expecting that, and it's another turnover for Purdue. Here, Livers, again, just going huge in the first half. You would continue that later on. Here goes number 11. Again, they're trying to do that same action. That's a tough shot. I'd let them live with that one. And then early in the second half, Dickinson able to put that one in. Here's a pass that is pretty funny. I think Livers was not expecting Eli Brooks to cut to the basket, so his pass over here is kind of like a caught in the middle of, I already passed, but I didn't mean to pass. And then Franz is able to give it right back to him. He makes up for it with a three-pointer. So, again, Michigan up 18 at this point early on. Brandon Newman for Purdue able to hit a couple threes. That first one, just a good shot. Good dish here from Franz to Dickinson down low. I believe that was Williams' third foul down low, so good to get him in foul trouble. And then just good defense from Dickinson, right? That's really good job to make that a tough shot and just stay in front of him. But Williams able to, do his own on the other side, pokes that one away from Dickinson, able to create like a quick opportunity here for 3, and just got to do a little bit better for Mike Smith to close out on that one, but that's Newman again with a second 3. Dickinson just couldn't get anything going too much offensively. That mid-range, not really even close. Good job from Franz. So again, what are they doing? They're doing that same thing. Here's your pick on from Travion Williams right here. Eli Brooks is going to try to follow, and you're going to have this guy just go around here, and you're going to notice the eyes for Franz. He's going to keep his eye on the ball there, recognize it's coming down the lane, and provide help there to get the block. So good job from him recognizing that. And then on the other side, tough basket there. I thought that one was going to go, but he's kind of like comes up a little gingerly. That creates a transition opportunity, and able to put that one in over Livers. So they're still trying to hang around, only down 11 at this point, and Michigan, again, turnovers were hurting them in that one. Dickinson can't hold on to that one. Neither can Davis, so that's a couple turnovers. Just leaving the door a little bit open. That's a really tough shot. This one's tough. So, like, good defense on there from Franz. I think I do agree with this foul. You can see Davis holding on to that arm a little bit there, so I think that's an appropriate call, one of the few appropriate calls in this one. Good job from Smith providing this to Livers. I think this one could have been called an and one. Maybe I'm nitpicking at this point, but with the arms there, like right here, I don't know. You have to go straight up, and this is, if we pull out the protractor here, this is maybe 30 degrees, I would say, 45 degrees. Anyway, not straight up, able to put in the tough basket anyway, so good job fighting through that. And then, going off of that one, how do you call this a foul, right? Where is Eli Brooks having any sort of contact? His arms are straight up, maybe right there. That's the only sort of contact at all, and that's minimal. Anyway, call that an and one super late after the basket. Eli Brooks is looking around with just a question mark over his head. He's just like, what is that? Like, what do I do? So I don't know, man. The officiating, I don't know. That looks like a very minimal amount of contact. Just because the dude falls doesn't mean he was fouled that way. And I don't know. So Michigan up 10 at this point. Good drive from Smith. That's a goaltend. So they count that basket. Good defense there from Dickinson going straight up, forcing the turnover from Ivy. And then great. Who am I? Tony the Tiger. Great back cut there from Brooks. Good eyes from Franz to kind of, you can see them kind of talking with his eyes there, getting Eli Brooks to go into that gap down the baseline, put in that reverse layup. And then good active hands from Franz. This is a really important teaching moment here. So this is what I wanted Franz to do in the past couple games. I pointed this out for multiple players, not only Franz, but also Mike Smith. In transition, he doesn't have the numbers, right? He does a good job holding up, waiting for Mike Smith, and then he's kind of like lurking around here. You see Franz kind of like dejected, and you can see the coach here, Juwan Howard, kind of being like, "What's going on, man? Like, what are you pouting about?" Right? So he's kind of pouting there, and it was the appropriate move to slow down. So they're pointing that out too. And off of the inbounds here, you'll see they call this specific set play for Franz to get this ball and go down to the hoop. So this is a really good teaching moment to get on your player when they're pouting, when they do something correct, where it benefits the team, but then also rewarding him for that good defensive play with a set play out of bounds like this one that gets Franz Wagner to the line. So good job on both of those fronts from Juwan Howard there. Good defense there, forcing that tough shot from Brooks. Again, awesome game from him. This one, okay. So this is just a loose ball scramble here. Eli Brooks comes up with it here. I think there's a couple fouls that could have been called primarily against Purdue here on kind of fighting there. So I'll point out a couple here, right here. All right, Eli Brooks has the ball. You see right there, number 0 is kind of in on it. I think right there, he kind of like shoves. Watch that, like left arm is kind of shoving there. And then you have Travion Williams poking around, like holding his arms there. And I don't know, man. How there were no fouls as a part of that is kind of crazy to me. Williams finally able to get going a little bit offensively there. Good feed there from Dickinson to Livers. He finds Brown in the corner, who's just been automatic from the corner for threes. Again, Williams, good job from Dickinson, able to block that one initially, force a tough shot, and then good rebound from Sean Brown. So just good job defensively. There's another moving screen. This one was correct against Dickinson. I think he was called for like 3 of them in this one. And then they called this one. Johns, you have him trying to deny the entry pass. I don't know how this is. I mean, you have the forearm for Edey for Purdue. I don't know how that's a foul on Johns. So, and then they call this right after this is a second free throw after that foul. They call this on Sean Brown, and I don't think I've ever seen this before. All right, so Sean Brown, does he kind of like barrel into number 0 there a little bit? Sure. I think I would argue you see that quite a bit, but then also couldn't you call this a hook and hold on number 0 against Johns, right? So this is my point where like just call it both ways if you're going to call it that tight to the whistle, and it seemed like Michigan was just on the wrong end of that more often than not. So it's a little frustrating here, but Michigan was able to fight through it, right? There's Eli Brooks, just a phenomenal play, right? To put this up with your left over that Entman, Edey, puts that in, just tough shot, goes up 15. Here's Franz beating Edey here as well, able to put that one in, and Michigan's up 17. Good job from Johns denying that entry pass. That creates this transition opportunity. Franz, again, with his daily will I end this man's life, it's still a no today. So he definitely should have thrown this up for Shawnee Brown. That could have been an alley-oop situation. Instead, he tries to go over Brandon Newman and end his life. He does not. I would argue this is maybe clean right there, but then there is some arm contact, especially with his left right there. You see that left arm for number 5 really come hard on Franz there, so it wasn't called. And then you have him jawing in the face of Franz Wagner right here. You have the ref who's just not looking at it for whatever reason, so that could have been called. But anyway, that creates a transition opportunity. Ivy misses, but you're able to get the putback there. So again, just frustrating. Good job from Johns. Again, some really powerful minutes from him to spot up Dickinson, who's in foul trouble. Good job from Dickinson on defense there. Just a tough shot that he's able to hit. Ivy is so. And then Michigan had a couple turnovers, right? I mentioned the turnovers for Purdue. Michigan also had 14, so that's not great. Good defense there. Series of tip-ins and offensive rebounds for Williams. He's able to get that one in. So a little bit frustrating portion of this game. There's another turnover. Michigan decides they don't want the ball. And then Purdue's like, hey, you don't want the ball. I don't want the ball. And they dribble off that. And then Mike Smith's like, oh, yeah, we're just doing this now. And he dribbles it off his foot. And really frustrating portion of this game. And then there's a moving screen on Williams. I like Shawnee Brown just not letting the shooter see this one in. And I like that. I like that mentality. Here's Dickinson finally able to get something going there with a tough entry pass, able to put that and one in. He almost takes out the ref. He gets a butt slap there. You can see right here after the play, kind of runs off into the ref. He's like, sorry. The ref gives him a butt slap. He's like, watch yourself. So good job from him being strong with the basketball there. He might have been trying to dunk that, but I guess fortunate layup there. And good job from him, especially defensively, but able to get that basket in. That was just a good bounce pass there for Williams to throw that one down. And then here's just like an NBA-style step back for Livers. That's a tough shot. Not sure what you do about that if you're Purdue. And there's a tough shot as well. Beat Mike Smith off the dribble. So exchanging baskets here a little bit. Good defense there, forcing a tough shot, and Michigan's up 16. Here is one that I don't understand, and if anyone can tell me how this is a block, you're wrong. So here's Livers. He's spot up right now, right? He's spot up right now, and he just fully takes him out. Ivy, everyone's just like, what? And this face for Livers, you can see right here. He's just like, what? Like, what is that? And I tend to agree with him. I don't know how that's a block. Really tough officiating. There's Williams missing that one. Good defense again on him. And we're towards the end of the game there. Good job from Dickinson on defense. And then you have Livers with the step through there. Not able to get that, but Dickinson able to establish himself down low and get that one. And then, again, how do you call this a foul, man? I'm getting, like, I'm tired. Like, you can hear in my voice. I'm tired of saying, how is this a foul? Because this looks super clean. This looks super clean. I don't see, like, any body there. Like, very, like, I don't know. The call is super late as well. You see Dickinson. No, he doesn't agree either. And that's it. That's the game. So Michigan wins by 17. Let's get into the stats here real quick. Okay. Livers, 22 points, 7 of 14 shooting, 3 of 5 from three-point land, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks. He was all over the place. Really, really good game for him. Brooks, super underrated player this year for Michigan, 11 points on 5 of 8 shooting. He tallied 5 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks as well. Then Dickinson, tough game for him offensively, only 8 points, 3 of 7 field goals, 3 rebounds and 6 turnovers. So those 6 turnovers, not great, but he was a standout on defense. I thought he did really well in the minutes that he did have. 3 key points here. Okay, number 1, depth at center position was paramount in this one. Purdue is really strong. They have the most difficult, big man puzzle to solve with Travion Williams and the 7'4" Ant-Man Edey. With the number of fouls that the refs were calling, it definitely limited Dickinson. So to have Davis, Johnson, even Williams come in to battle down low and help alleviate some of those fouls was really paramount in the success of this game. Number 2, Michigan's got to cut down on turnovers, right? 14 in this one goes to show how much better this team still can get and how good they still are to win by 17 on the road with 14 turnovers against a red-hot Purdue team. So still room to improve there, and that's the biggest area of improvement that I see so far. Number 3, Brooks is extremely underrated on this team. I think you could maybe argue that most people do understand his value, but his athleticism is super high. I think it's not, I don't know if people recognize it enough, and he's just a steady veteran presence that has really helped alleviate some of that lack of true depth that Michigan has this year at point guard. So for him to spot some of those minutes, the value he provides on defense, just really valuable in this game. I think was probably one of his best thus far this year. Okay, so watch out soon for a video on Michigan hockey's sweep of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish this past weekend. Mentioned at the start of this video that the 14-day shutdown within the athletic department will change kind of the videos that I'm able to put out this week. So what's coming to the channel? Number 1, some football staff breakdowns. Michigan, I think, finally solidified their coaching staff, so watch out for that. Might be a live stream, we'll see. And then number 2, recruit breakdowns for the 2021 class. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see for each of those. Any other ideas for content you want to see while Michigan is out playing this couple weeks here. But that's all I got. Thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to watch this. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Stay safe out there. And as always, go blue.